Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Today, I'm not going to be talking about any specific topic from the Quran, but instead, I'm going to introduce to you some of the Arab YouTuber Quran researchers that I am familiar with. There are a lot more that I know of, but today I'm going to introduce to you a handful of them. And basically, I just want to show you guys some of the Arabs that are out there because there is, to some extent, some people from the Quran alone community believe that the Arab world is still backwards. To me, well, it is still backwards, but to me, it is actually moving forward in regards to starting to question a lot of things from the Hadith literature and starting to become more Quran centric. And what really sparked my wanting to do this is none other than Sister Majd Khalaf, because recently she posted a video about what is the Salah, ma hiya Salah. And I basically almost gave her a standing ovation because I would say about 80% of the content she shared in this video I agreed with, and she pretty much concluded the same conclusions as I have regarding the topic of Salah. So I do, and amazingly, her videos, most of her videos are subtitled in English, so I do urge you to check it out. Keep in mind that, of course, I do not necessarily agree with 100% of everything that these people talk about, but I do take what is beneficial and I disregard the remainder. In this case, Sister Majd, she mentioned a lot of things that I agreed with, and she reached the same conclusions about what Salah is, but there are some points that I did not agree with. Nonetheless, it is noteworthy. It is worth the watch, I would mention. So, the channel is Majd Khalaf. So let me introduce you to some more people here. We have Ahmed Subhi Mansour. This guy has been around for a very long time. Egyptian of origin, and he did have a website called Ahlul Quran, but as far as I know, it has been hacked and it's no longer available. All that's available are some of are his videos. And as far as I know, he is a historian. He does have a background in understanding of the Hadith literature and so forth, so he's able to criticize it very well. And I basically did a search here with the word English to see if there are any videos of his that are in English, that are subtitled in English. This video right here, is an interview that Dr. Subhi Mansour is being interviewed by an ex-Muslim, and so Dr. Subhi starts talking about things from a Quran alone perspective. So I do encourage you guys to check it out. Another gentleman is Ahmed Maher. There's only a handful of videos that I found that are subtitled in English. And what I like about this guy, he's Egyptian of origin. What I like about him is he is very, very outspoken. He goes head to head with a lot of sheikhs, a lot of scholars, and criticizing various hadiths and how they clearly contradict the Quran and so on. Another guy I'd like to introduce you to is Dr. Muhammad Hidayah, and he is more traditional, but a lot of his research is Quran centric. I do tend to think he is maybe a closet Quran aloner. So one of the things that really stood out for me is he did have various topics, interesting topics about his take on the Kaaba, the Qibla, as well as talking about the black magic. He did a whole series of black magic and demonic possession and stuff like that, and dismantles all of it using the Quran alone. So that's what really stood out for me. For him, I do urge you guys to check him out whenever you get the chance. And of course, we have Sheikh Hassan Farhan al-Maliki, historian of he's Saudi Arabian. He is a historian, and he's very outspoken, and this is most likely why he is in jail in Saudi Arabia. And Brother Quranic Islam, shout out to him. He did a lot of videos, subtitling a lot of his videos. Very, very worth watching. Very interesting stuff that he brings up. Now this guy, Qusay Hashim al-Fakhir, Iraqi of origin, and this guy is amazing. I mean, his lectures are really long, but very interesting perspectives, very interesting takes. He has more of a modernized approach to various topics of the Quran. Some of the things that he brings up, I do not agree with, but he is one of the very few catalysts that helped me do more research about the topic of Salah. One of his very first videos are about the topic of Salah. Unfortunately, I did not find anything of having English subtitles. Then we have Muhammad Shahrur, Dr. Muhammad Shahrur, very, very well known. He is basically the guy that I would say transformed a lot of people from traditional Islam to Quran alone Islam. Lots of debates, lots of interviews. He has written several books, very, very in-depth analysis with various topics from the Quran alone perspective. And he did pass away a couple of years ago. But again, there are some English subs. You guys can definitely check him out. Very, very well knowledgeable man. This guy's probably less known, but I do think he is something to check out. Samer Islamboli. I did communicate with him several times, and this man is very knowledgeable, very in-depth linguistic analysis that he provides in a lot of his videos. And I do enjoy a lot of his lectures. One thing that stood out for me for him is this video, Al-Farq Bain al-Rasul wa Nabi, the difference between a messenger and a prophet. Basically, a lot of this particular topic, I took a lot of knowledge from him because I did find a lot of the things that he said was in concordance with the Quran. This gentleman, I have no idea what his name is. I communicated with him a couple of times. A relatively newer channel, and nothing really stood out for me from him, but I do think he is worth mentioning just because he does talk a lot about things from a Quran alone perspective. And this guy, Brother Ra'id, from True Islam from Quran, he is a very knowledgeable man. I enjoyed a lot of his lectures, but there are certain things that I do not agree with. He's kind of on the conspiratorial side, so I don't agree with him on that. But he did a very in-depth analysis about the term Salah, and again, he did mention various things I did not agree with, but generally speaking, very knowledgeable about various topics from the Quran alone perspective. Now, this guy, Wissam Ishaq, I don't know. I honestly don't know if he is a Quran alone researcher. I don't know. But most of his videos are all about studying the manuscripts of the Quran, as well as talking about realignment of the quote-unquote Islamic calendar. Of course, there's no such thing as an Islamic calendar, but just basically talk about how it's technically a lunisolar calendar and that the true Ramadan is somewhere in September, October, based off a lunisolar calendar. And another gentleman is Firas Munir. As far as I know, he is Lebanese. And nothing really here stood out for me. He is very technical in his analysis with various topics from the Quran. I just do think he is very noteworthy in this case because a lot of his topics are Quran alone, based off of Quran alone research. And this guy, Egyptian of origin, as you can tell by the way he's dressed, he's from the Azhar University, or was, Sheikh Muhammad Abdullah Nasr. And unfortunately, this man, well, not unfortunately, first of all, this man is a Quran alone follower and very outspoken, lots of debates with sheikhs and other scholars. And he has done a lot of videos, very outspoken, but unfortunately he was eventually silenced. And not in the sense that they killed him, but that he went to jail. He had to remove all of his videos from YouTube. His actual channel is no longer available on YouTube. There's only a few pieces here and there that you can find. And after he came out of jail, he basically said, I'm no longer going to be outspoken. So they basically silenced him. So he's now probably doing something else, somewhere else, not being a sheikh. But, oh, there he is. But basically, a lot of, he's right here. So basically he had to stop preaching from a Quran alone perspective about various, regarding anything basically. So this is, let me see, do I have something? Oh, yes. Adnan al-Rifa'i. How could I forget this guy? Adnan al-Rifa'i is Syrian of origin, very Quran-centric. I don't know if he's necessarily Quran alone. I do feel that these guys are Quran alone. They're closet Quran aloners. And Adnan al-Rifa'i was one of the very first people that gave me that idea of pursuing the root definitions. And it's through him that I was able to kind of start talking about root words and root definitions and whatnot. Unfortunately, this guy, on the other hand, he's also obsessed with the number 19, not the Rashad Khalifa. He basically has his own methodology of obtaining the number 19, and he kind of obsesses over it. But I usually disregard all that information. He does have very, very good analysis with various wordings in the Quran and root words and whatnot. So very beneficial man for me. One of the very first few that helped me with the notion of finding the root definition of the word salah. So these are some of the handful of people that I kind of follow on YouTube. And again, I'm not condoning 100% of everything that these guys talk about. We're just taking the things that we agree with or that we find in alignment with a Quran alone perspective. So this is my, of course, this is not to disregard some of the other Arab researchers that are out there. Of course not. This is just something that I wanted to share with you guys. Wassalamu alaikum.